Now, I would love there to be a penalty for the woman. However, what would happen if there was a penalty for the woman? Let's say she got, okay, you're going to prison for 8 years, the exact same penalty the man would have got if he had been found guilty. So many women are going to get raped and go, yeah, but I don't actually have any evidence. Like, I don't know if I've got anything concrete. I don't know if this will hold up in court. It was in the middle of nowhere. I don't know how I could prove this. I'm not going to go forward. We can't have that scenario. Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to be talking about a very touchy subject, but something that I believe I have solved with this solution, which is false rape accusations. Okay, now before we start, this kind of idea that I have, it has to benefit both parties. Okay, we have to have a scenario where it doesn't put women off coming forward to say that they were raped. Okay, so I truly believe for every, let's say, 99 cases of rape, probably one is false rape accusation. But I think false rape accusations are as bad as rape, because you're destroying somebody else's life, which is, you know, a very, very bad situation to put someone in, especially usually because this happens with people in their teens or 20s. So you get a young man, let's say I saw an example, not that recently, but a couple years ago, where a young man was around, I think he was about 22, he was at university. He had sex with this girl consensually, and she claimed rape. You know, they were drinking, I don't know why she did this, okay, but she claimed rape. He got dragged through the mud. I think he got kicked out of university, couldn't get a job for like 4 or 5 years. Finally, turned out, okay, it was false rape accusation, they did nothing wrong, sex was consensual. But this guy's life is still ruined because people still don't want to go near him. Whether his record's been cleared or not, people are like, oh, that's the guy, you know, they know his face. It also makes it very hard to get a girlfriend during that time period. You know, are you going to give him those wasted years back of his life? Are you going to allow him to go back 5 years and get his education back? Like, there should be a way, and you know for a fact that that woman gets let off. And this is the major problem, is a woman can find somebody like Conor McGregor, okay? It's happened to Nelly as well. It's happened to a lot of famous guys. It seems to be happening to all famous guys at the moment. I don't want to comment on any of them because it could be true, but it seems to be happening with all famous men. And it just seems as though as soon as any guys get a little bit of power, they either become a target for accidental pregnancy or a kind of rape or hashtag Me Too scenario, which, like I said at the start, I believe a lot of them are true, okay? I believe, let's give women the benefit of the doubt, 99% of them are probably true, but it's that 1% where it ruins someone's life that I think we can solve. So you get somebody like Conor McGregor, makes a lot of money, hasn't had top-level women before in his life, so he's probably ventured around a lot. I've got some stories on that, won't go into it, I'm not snitch. And he's probably gone around, slept with a few women, you know, etc., whatnot. It won't take long for something to come out. I believe there's been a few isolated stories, but something like that will come out soon, you know, or somebody of that nature who's quite a wild individual, has slept with a lot of women, and something will come out where it's okay. I think he did have that one case, didn't he, where he was putting a woman in the back of a car and she claimed rape. You know, as soon as a woman has a giant amount to gain, false rape accusations will go through the roof, okay? So, like I said, we cannot stop women coming forward because we're going to ruin the whole dynamic. You know, we're going to have women that did get raped being scared to come forward, that's just not a nice scenario. If anybody's got daughters or has daughters in the future, you know, it's not nice. We wouldn't want that. However, we've got a situation where a lot of men are having their lives ruined. And then when it gets proved that the man did actually have consensual sex with the woman, nothing happens. He doesn't get compensated. It's just, oh, okay, right, that was wrong. Everyone go their separate ways. And I think the problem is, okay, and I'll get to the solution next, but I think the problem is when a woman goes in to speak with a lawyer, calls up a lawyer, etc., sends an email, whatever, the lawyer reads it and says, I was raped, okay? The lawyer's already going, you know, they shouldn't be doing this. This is disgusting, but they're already going, okay, this is guaranteed money. We were drinking. Oh, this is over for the guy, you know, guaranteed money. This is a cleanup job. and then they see a picture of the woman, maybe she's half attractive, and it's just like, bang, done. There's guaranteed money in the bank. We don't need to worry. And this is a major problem because they know that even if it goes wrong, there's no consequences for the party that lied or sided with the party that lied. Here is the solution. Okay, this is what we need to do. We need to make the lawyers, the company that's, let's say, on the woman's side for this, honoring the woman, whatever it might be, representing the woman, that's the right terms. They should have to pay a compensation fee to the man if it's proved that it was consensual sex. Here's why, okay? Here's how it benefits people. The guy who's had his life ruined might get 100, 200,000, a million, 2 million, depends on how deep or how public the case went, okay? So they get compensated automatically, there and then, hammer down, you get compensated, that's a guarantee, okay? Number two, there's no penalty for the woman. Now, I would love there to be a penalty for the woman. However, what would happen if there was a penalty for the woman? Let's say she got, okay, you're going to prison for 8 years, the exact same penalty the man would have got if he had been found guilty. So many women are going to get raped and go, yeah, but I don't actually have any evidence. Like, I don't know if I've got anything concrete. I don't know if this will hold up in court. It was in the middle of nowhere. I don't know how I could prove this. I'm not going to go forward. We can't have that scenario. That isn't going to work. The way this works is that the lawyers are used as a somewhat of a pre-check. Okay, I would assume lawyers are professional, smart, educated individuals with a good judgment of logic and evidence. Okay, they've seen enough cases. They probably see patterns. They could probably figure some stuff out. All right. So let's say the woman comes in, sits down, has a chat. She's on her own. She sat there and she's laughing. She's going, yeah, I think I got raped. Usually it would be like, well, yeah, okay, let's clean up. Let's take the case. In this scenario, they'll go, actually, there's a penalty for us this time. We're going to have to do a term that I cannot ever say, due diligence. Oh, I said it. Usually I can't get it out. I struggle to say that one. But they have to do their research, okay? They have to do all their checks. They have to go, is this likely? Is there a lot of evidence? Does it seem like she's lying? Let's do a background check on the woman. Let's look at her current financial situation. Oh, she's 10 grand in debt. Not saying she's lying. Huge red flag. Okay, let's look at her whereabouts on that night. I want the lawyers to do the police's job. I want them to liaise with the police and figure out whether this, without making it go public or making a fucking news headline before, innocent until proven guilty. But instead of making all these big fucking headlines and putting them out there, we should keep everything under wraps. The lawyers should liaise with the police officers. They should do background checks on the individual. There should be as much information, a portfolio provided as possible at the start. And then the lawyers should make a judgment call. We believe she's lying. We personally are not going to take the case because we don't want to catch that fee. Usually they take it because they're like, it doesn't matter. This is... there's no problem for us here. Even if we lose, there's no problem here. It's a free roll for them. It's a free hit. They either win or they don't lose, right? Okay, it's too easy. Whereas if there's a penalty, they're going to have to do their checks and their research. If they can say, okay, I think she's lying, move on. She still then has the ability to go to the next lawyer and the next lawyer, and she can keep it going. If they all do the same thing, let's say you get 3 in a row that go, we think you're lying, chances are she's going to give up and go, okay, I tried that avenue, but that didn't quite work. All right, which I'd imagine if 3 companies made the same judgment call, she's probably lying, okay? I think it'd be very rare that we'd get the opportunity where, she was actually telling the truth. I think it'd be a lot rarer than the amount of guys who didn't actually do it. So, I think that's a plus because we've actually improved the odds there. We've improved the percentage. Now, if they go, okay, we've got bags of evidence here. This seems so likely. They were both here at this same occasion. She sat here telling this story, crying, and her mum's holding one hand and her dad's holding the other hand, and she's shaking visibly. She's petrified, or not even that. It's just everything adds up, and it seems likely this guy's got a previous history of domestic violence or something, or he's a single loner and he was there that night at that time and somebody saw him go out the door at the exact same time she did. Then they'll probably make the judgment call to go, okay, we're going to take the case. We're going to take this case and we're going to push it forward. You see how everybody's ass is covered here. So the man, if he's innocent, then he's getting compensated, which, makes it a little bit easier for the man to take. If he ends up getting 2 million, he can move to a whole different country, set up a new life. That's not the worst thing in the world, is it, right? The woman either wins the case, rightfully so, or she gets a scenario where, other women aren't put off coming forward. Okay, so women are protected there just in case. And the lawyers, they're intelligent people. They've made the judgment call and they've taken on their own risk after doing a full review and stronger due diligence. Okay, so they've done a lot stronger research rather than just saying rape case, clean up, let's get it in, let's get the money, this is easy. They're going to have to go through probably an extra month or two of research, really look into it, really look into the details. Then they'll make that judgment call, yes or no. If they say no, then fair enough, they walk away scot-free. Nobody really loses here, because I believe that the woman probably would be lying if the lawyers were like, we just can't take this. Or if a number of lawyers in a row said, we can't take this. You see, it doesn't stop the woman going to the next lawyer and the next lawyer and the next lawyer. She can keep this going, okay? We'll keep looking for evidence before she goes forward again, right? Okay, that's how it should be, right? But then at the same time, if the lawyer says, okay, we're going to take this case, and then they lose, well, that was your professional opinion. Your judgment was incorrect. The man's life was nearly destroyed because of this. You should now have to compensate that individual because you fucked up. I just think that's the perfect scenario. I just think everybody looking for a solution and saying this is wrong, this is wrong, this is right, what can we do, weigh it up. I just think that's the perfect solution. I think that's how we stop false male rape claims, and we're able to get into a normal, logical society where young men's lives aren't destroyed, or older men's lives, whatever it might be, for profit gains. Maybe fame, I'm not sure, but a lot of it is profit gains, or to protect against embarrassment because he was maybe an ugly guy and her friends were taking the piss and she was like, oh, he raped me anyway. That's sometimes how it comes about. I just think, or a girl gets pregnant and she doesn't want to tell her dad that she's, sleeps around at a young age or something, and that embarrassment forces her to say, actually, he raped me. There was a case in my area before where some girl was out late sleeping with a guy. My friend was telling me a story, so I'm kind of paraphrasing what he said. But she got home, okay, they were seeing each other for ages. There was text evidence and everything, right? They were good friends. They slept together. She came home and it was late and her dad went out into the road, and I think her clothes were a little bit everywhere because, she just got out of this guy's car. And the dad was like, where the hell were you? And like having a chat with her, and she realized she was in big trouble. And he goes, you got raped, didn't you? And immediately on the back foot, she just said, yeah, I did. Started crying and just pleaded this rape case, right? When this guy found out from my area, he hung himself. Right? And it turns out the text evidence was right there. They looked through it all and everything. It was fine. They were basically a couple, right? But he hung himself because he realized that he probably wouldn't win a rape case. It's her word against yours. Historically, that hasn't gone very well for the man. And even if it does, it takes like 4 or 5, 6 years to resolve. And by then, your reputation, life, everything's been destroyed. Your stress levels have gone through the roof. You've lost your job, education, girlfriend, wife, whatever it might be. You can't see the kids. It's very hard to reclaim that back. And I just think this is the only scenario that protects every party, changes nothing, and allows everyone to get full benefit from this. And you have to also think, okay, if there's not enough evidence, okay, because this is the one thing that people will pull me up on. If there's not enough evidence and the lawyers don't take it, but the woman did get raped, then if there wasn't enough evidence, chances are in court she wouldn't have won anyway. All right, I know that's not the point. It's terrible that she wouldn't have won anyway if she did get raped, but she wouldn't have won anyway. So she's not actually losing anything here. Okay, so if there wasn't enough evidence, whether he did it or not, she wouldn't have won in court anyway. So if the lawyers have made that judgment, it's actually saved her going forward, and taking months and months in court and that emotional stress, etc., and then seeing him get off. So if anything, it stops them and says, okay, you're going to have to find more evidence. You're going to have to look deeper into this. You're going to have to knock on a few stores and see if they've got cameras or like something. So there's actually no, although that's a negative in itself because the guy's getting away with rape, it doesn't actually change what would have happened. So there's actually no flaw in that entire system. And I hope you guys can like tell your friends about this, push this forwards, maybe make this a movement or something. But this is exactly how we stop. I've thought about this a lot. This is how we stop false male rape accusations.